Hello guys and welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Ravenwolves, or better known as Daniel. I hope you are having a great week. I'm just gonna be doing this couple of videos or short videos. I'm gonna try to make them as short as I can and as better detailed as I possibly can. And this time I decided to divide my entire makeup routine in different videos covering each part of my makeup routine so you guys can learn the process I go through to become Ravenwolf. So if you are not already, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And please don't forget to hit that little bell so every time I upload a new video, you guys can see that I uploaded a new video and you guys can hop on and watch it. First things first, always start your makeup routine with a very clean face. I like to shave barely half an hour before I start doing my makeup, and I exfoliate my face. I do my own mixture for exfoliation. I use any facial soap that is kind of mild or soft, and then I mix it with coffee grounds from the same morning, believe it or not, and then I scrub my face all over with it, so that creates a more smoother surface for me. Like it leaves my face very smooth, very easy to work with. And then I start after that, I just start hydrating my face. I use multiple moisturizers on my face just to make sure that I have a very hydrated and supple skin. And as you can see, it doesn't look like it's very it doesn't look dry, it doesn't look rough, and it's easier to apply makeup. Before I start with my brows, I always have this alcohol bottle that I use for my brushes at the end, and this is what I also use to start my brow process. I use a little Q-tip or cotton swab, and then I just soak it completely in alcohol, and then I just start rubbing the alcohol in all the hairs. And if you notice, I'm going against the growth of the hair and then back and forth, so I get rid of all the oils at the surface of that hair in the brow. This is a very important step when you're covering your brows, because if you do not clean this proper way and get all the excess oils off of them, then it's gonna start sticking out. So once I do that, then now it's time to start applying the first coat of glue. Now the first coat of glue is gonna be the most important one of them all, because this is how the rest of your brows are gonna end up looking, depending on how you glue that first layer. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm gonna start with an Elmer's glue stick. I like to use the purple one because it shows when it's drying, it turns translucent. And I'm gonna start against the growth of my natural hair. That way, it covers every part of the hair from the back of it also to the front. And you see I'm doing exactly the same way I was doing the cleanup with the alcohol swab. I'm doing exactly the same technique, and I'm gonna work one brow at a time, because this first layer is going to be the most important. And using a spoolie with the comb on the side, we're going to go ahead and brush those hairs upwards in the direction that they grow. That way your hairs will lay as flat as possible against your skin. Remember, this first layer is going to be the most important. And what I'm going to do next is clean up the surrounding area so we don't get that oatmeal texture around your brow when it's drying with the excess of glue that is around it. And the same spoolie, I'm going to be using the wooden part, which is the back part. I'm going to get it a little wet with some of the wipe, and I'm going to use it to flatten the surface of the brow. And I'm going to repeat the exact same process with the second brow while this one dries, and then I go ahead and apply a second layer on that one, and on both actually, and then just before it dries, we're gonna set it all up. Okay, so now that we're dry with one of them, we're gonna apply the second coat on top of what we already did. And this is just to kind of secure everything and get rid of most of the crevices. You would repeat this as much as you need to, depending on how thick your brows are naturally. In my case, they're thick, but the hairs are not thick. They're thin, so I don't need much to cover them. And if I end up applying more than two, I think the most I would apply is three, but I try not to because it looks too much. And then I just clean up the excess around the edges, just like we did before, just to make sure we keep as much of the surface of your skin as glue free as possible. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other brow. Okay, now we're gonna hop into the last step after doing those two layers. And the last step is for me the most important one because it's the one that's gonna set the brows. Just before the brows are dry completely, or the glue is dry completely, I'm gonna use a powder puff with translucent powder that has a little tint to it, and I'm gonna press it against the almost dry glue, and this is gonna get into all the crevices of the brow hair, and also end up soaking all of the extra moisture in it and sealing it in a way that the brow is not gonna move the remainder of the night while you're performing, sweating and whatnot. So as you can see, I'm just pressing against it with lots of powder. Don't be shy with the amount of powder you put in it. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna affect anything at all. It's just so it gets into all those crevices that form with the natural brow hair. And then what it does, it kind of does like cement. So, you know, when you mix cement with water, it kind of creates that paste. And then well, this is doing exactly the same. It's just mixing with the moisture of the glue at the end and sealing it, and also getting into all those crevices and creating a smoother surface, so that way it's less noticeable. It's still gonna be noticeable, I'm not gonna lie. People think that direct brows, when they're covered up, they're not gonna be able to be seen. If you want that kind of coverage, I would recommend using Prozaid. It's a little bit more covering in your brows and like the texture of it, but for me, I don't need that much. Even though I have a lot of brows, my brow hairs are smooth and soft. They're not like bristles. So they cover up really well. So then I just remove the excess of the powder that's on top of the layer on the top layer of the brow, and then your brows are covered.